beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. I took a walk one street over from my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known.
Oh, good morning. Hello. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Welcome to it. And it's so funny because Dr. Osborne just walked in. This is my boss, y'all. Come on. She probably doesn't want me calling her my boss, but she is. She's my principal at Greenboro High School. And it's so funny because I have to tell you, Dr. Osborne, we've been doing a talent show at Greenbrier. And this morning I'm messaging Jim Bellis. I'm like, because I didn't have my schedule with me to tell me exactly who was supposed to come in. I said, okay, I've got principal on the calendar, but I said, who's coming in? Did you confirm them? And he's in Canada. So we were scrambling, trying to see what we were going to do. And he was able to get a hold of Mr. Carneal, said he was on the way. And then he says, well, Dr. Osborne's supposed to be there. And then here you come walking in. And that's so funny. I thought you might forget, though.
Oh, no.
Because I'll tell you, you do a lot. I mean, you're a farmer. It is so funny. And I get so tickled because you and I grew up very similar.
Yes.
And I grew up on a hog farm. Yours is cattle, and so you and I will talk from time to time, and it'll be, well, I'm going to be out in the field and different things. So did you have to tend to cattle this morning?
Not this morning.
Not this morning. Good. I'm gonna have you I tell you what, let's switch microphones here. We're gonna make a little quick switch. Yeah, that'll be right ahead. And that way you're closer into the camera there too. So I think we can hear you just a little bit better there.
That sounds good.
That's much better. And so anyway, I thought that it's so funny because you know how just things just kind of, we even have a meeting this morning.
Yes.
It's so funny. I've already sent her emails. It's like, okay, here's this, and this, and just trying to do all the things. But it's such a blessing. I love it. You haven't seen the talent show yet, have you?
I haven't, and I'm so excited about today.
Just wait.
I know.
It's loud, but that's what the kids love. I mean,
Yes.
it's a big portion of it is rock and roll, and we've got some. That's the thing, Dr. Osborne. We have got so many talented kids,
We really do.
and trying to get them to pull out of their
Yes.
thing is the challenge. And that's what I was telling the crowd last night. I said, this started. I have a little thing I have that I have the kids fill out when they first come to school. And one of the questions is, what are you proud of? What are you excited about? What do you do well? That kind of thing. And from time to time, I play guitar. Aiden Raymer's one of them. He's like, well, I kind of play guitar. He was our student athlete, our student musician of the month for Channel 2 last year. He's phenomenal. And then I had, a friend of mine, Lex Gonzalez, his mom and I are friends, and she mentioned to me something because I was like, he is such an amazing actor.
Yes.
And she goes, well, have you ever heard him play guitar? And I'm like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Have you seen him play yet?
I have not, but that's why the fine arts are so important.
I'm telling you.
We have piano, we have guitar, and the number of students who, for the first time, take the class may not even really want to take the class, but they have to have a fine art credit for the state of Tennessee, and they get behind that piano and they can play by ear.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
So cool. Yeah, and Luke Dameron's another one that answered the questionnaire and said, I play guitar. And it's like, just wait until you see them today.
Right.
There's just so many. I'm going to start naming kids and be like, you didn't mention me, Miss Vivio.
Yes.
But you know who you are, but they're just phenomenal and just so proud of them. And we've got some too that we did a tryout, and I had 2 or 3 that've got just sweet voices, but they're just not quite ready for the stage yet. And I want them to be ready because I want it to be a good experience. And so I've already started hitting her up. I'm like, we want to do a spring show.
Yes.
We want to do a spring talent show. But we'll talk about that later. Dr. Osborne is our principal at Greenbrier High School. And so tell everybody that I know so much about you because we've worked together now, but tell everybody what your background is. You grew up here, and so give them kind of your professional journey.
I am from Robertson County, very proud graduate from East Robertson, but I have taught in every cluster in the county, and every community is so supportive. Joe Burns, White House Heritage, Coopertown Middle, did my student teaching at Kreisel,
That's cool.
and now at Greenbrier as an admin. This is my 14th year as head principal. But we're just very proud of what our students can do, and also what our teachers can bring out in our students, just so they can have the brightest future. They have so much potential, but it's just opening those doors where they can see what they can do, what the possibilities are.
And this is something we've been talking about. We have what does PLC stand for?
Professional Learning Community.
Thank you. I mean, I know we have PLC meetings, and I'm like, it's another acronym.
Yes.
It means what? Because I'll say something about I'm a CTE teacher, and people look at me like, I'm like a career teacher. So career and technical education is what that one stands for. So we have PLC meetings once a week. And the thing that we're talking about in our meeting today is calling our kids to high standards and not coloring and doing things that they shouldn't be doing in high school.
Right.
That's one of those things. And it's so making sure, and how did you put it when we met last week? It's like making sure that their work is, I don't know, there's way.
High quality.
There was maybe another word
and
you
making
used.
sure that because the students work for an A, making sure that A is not inflated. Just higher order thinking is what we're trying to do, and quality work products. Because especially as a career and technical teacher, we want to turn our students over to the workforce, and we want their writing abilities to be strong, their speaking abilities to be strong. We want the employers to come back and say, y'all are getting these students ready for the workforce.
And that's been the big push right now is graduate ready, and what it means to be graduate ready. And that's something that you don't, unless you've been in the classroom and in education, you just don't really understand the challenges. We've got so many kids that God bless them, they're from good families, but their parents are working all the time because it's expensive. Everything's expensive, and it's hard. As I tell the story oftentimes that I have these movie posters all around my room, and sometimes I'll say, "Tell me which one of these movies relates to how your summer was, or your spring break, or your fall break." And so often it's the Home Alone movie, and that just breaks my heart, you know.
Yes.
And it's just such a struggle, and so many of these kids just don't have that. It's not that they don't have the support; it's just their parents are exhausted.
Yes.
And the screens are easy.
Yes, they
These
are.
are easy. I mean, I've got my fifth grandchild on the way. How easy is it when they're just being stinkers to just say, "Okay, watch Bluey," you know? And it's just it's just not what we need to be doing.
In such a fast-paced world,
Yeah.
we are very, very short-sighted. And so trying to convince the students that the ACT is really important. And when you sit down and talk to students, they may not want to go to a four-year college immediately after school. But if you talk to them long enough, they want to go to a trade school, they want to go to work, but eventually own their own business, get a business degree. I just tell them, hey, I don't want you mad at me when you're 30.
Yeah.
When you find out that ACT score really does count.
Yeah.
Again, we're so short-sighted, we think the ACT really counts only when you're 18, but it is long-term. So it's just trying to equip them with the skills that whatever they want to do, we're ready. And so our ACT score, we are a level 5 school,
Yay.
2 years in a row, so excited, but our ACT is not where we want it to be. And that's under the category of what we call Ready Grad, another state term that we use. And so we're trying to focus on that. And again, with the tuition and those challenges and living independently if they're going off to college, those are all factors, but we're trying to get them to focus on the ACT just to open that door and see what happens and not close it by saying, I'm not going to a four-year school.
Yeah, exactly. And as somebody that went in, started looking into education late in life, they still want my grades. That was one of the things I'm like, I'm 62 years old. How am I going to find these grades? And especially my husband, when he was getting his master's, the things that we had to go back. And fortunately, he had very good grades. Mine, not so much. I was a little scattered, but I did well. But trying to find mine, I went to a rural school and just trying to find some of those records, not quite as easy. His was a little more, a little more organized, I guess. But nonetheless, it does matter. I don't care if you've been out of school 30, 40 years, it does matter. So as we look at Greenbrier then, I always ask the question of principals when they come in, what are you most excited about at your school? I kind of know, but what would you say? What would you say?
I really am excited about the corner that we have turned. And just the enthusiasm, the involvement. And again, not just because you've coordinated the talent show, but things like that to get students excited about school and those students that are going to motivate other students. But I'm also just very, very excited just about the leadership and helping others. We had a student Friday night saw a medical emergency and she ran and got help. And just so proud of the little things our students do that don't get advertised.
I love it. That's the thing. And we try to find those things. It's one of the things with the Renaissance program. I just love Samantha Grimes. She just runs circles around just about anybody I know. And I just, the Renaissance program that celebrates kids that are not and sometimes it's the athlete that is part of Renaissance too, because they're just a well-rounded student. But, it's just like these kids are in the talent show.
Right.
People had no idea these kids could do this stuff. And then they didn't know each other could do it. And then it's like you said, they want to come to school. They want to have time together and to collaborate, to work on, are we going to have a spring day? All these kinds of things. But the Renaissance program, for kids that are showing up, they're not, just completely covered up with absentees. They're getting the grade. They're doing the work. I love it. I had one of my new newscasters, little Miss Shelley, the other day. I had her down to do news one morning, and I was going to need to pull her, from a class for a few minutes to do the news. And she's like, Miss Vivio, I missed yesterday, and I've got a test. And I'm like, that's no problem. No problem. I said, you just like really gained a lot with me, the fact that you recognize that.
Yes.
And I said, because, we had two people doing it. I said, we can let that, we can let Kennedy do it on her own today. And so I told her, I said, oh, no, that's exactly what you have to do. And just like when they need to come out early for the talent show, I said, but if you are behind in something, you will not get to leave maybe exactly when you want to. And that just the kids getting that responsibility. I mean, we have really turned a corner, I think,
Yes,
at
we have.
Greenbrier.
We
And
really
it's
have.
been since I've been there.
Yes.
I've seen it. I'm being kind of an outsider. I don't really feel like an outsider now
Good.
because I've been there long enough now. But coming from the private sector into education and just being kind of, deer in the headlights for a couple of years, and then really seeing, that the level 5 school accomplishment, B level school, and the excitement that brings, helping the kids find their thing that makes them want to be in the door. I love to use my newscaster. I'm not going to call him out, but you know who I'm talking about. A lot of absentees last year.
Right.
And I told him, I said, you're a senior newscaster, but that will change if you're not here.
That's right. Those expectations are so important. And some people think, oh, you're being so hard on them. But again, we're getting them ready for what's next, and attendance is critical.
Yeah. You can't, it's so, as a teacher, parents, you think it's no big deal to keep your kid out. As a teacher, if I'm covering material, especially when I'm doing the, everything's layered in lab type classes and project-based classes like mine. And if you miss the training on how to, do a certain part of production, then I have to separate myself from the rest of the class to go and individually teach you, and that's fine if it has to be done. But if you have too many that are doing that,
Right.
it's, of course, you sometimes, it's just, I can't imagine teaching math and English and those things that are EOS, they have those end of course, the acronyms, having to teach those things and having to reteach the kids that aren't there.
Right. Right.
And I had one teacher tell me last year about my newscaster about, well, he's got to show up because he's missing and just trying to help them to see that. And of course, now it seems to have clicked. He's doing so much. I'm just so proud of him. But nonetheless, there's just so much. If you hadn't figured out, Dr. Osborne and I could sit here and probably carry on a couple hours conversation about all that I've learned, because it's my school, it's my family. But what are we? If I've said here, what is the things that you want to make sure that you cover in our time together about Greenbrier?
Just the improvement
Right.
that our students have made, and the consistency with 2 years. And then our attendance has greatly improved. We're
Oh, yeah.
still not where we want to be, but we are getting there. But again, I'm just so proud of the involvement. And you mentioned the Renaissance program. If you're looking for a way to plug in and volunteer in schools, Renaissance program is a great way to do that, because it's just a reward, an incentive, just doing what you're supposed to do. For example, we have the breakfast party patrol, and that's knocking on the door, and the students and the teacher have to be there, because it's not just student attendance, it's teacher attendance, have to be there. And I think we're even throwing in with the new state law with cell phones, so cell phones have to be out of sight. And so they get a surprise breakfast just for being there. And so it's just things like that. And again, we have Student of the Month, recognizing students. And then one of my favorites that's coming up is the People's Choice Night. And the teachers select, or all staff select a student that is exceptional in their area. And we're just excited, rolling out the red carpet and rewarding those students. Some of them may have never received a reward or any recognition before. And so that is very, very cool to see.
I've been wondering when it's coming up. I haven't looked ahead on the calendar. Do you know?
November 13th.
November 13th. The hardest part of this is picking one.
Yes.
That's so hard. That is so hard. And I struggle with it every year. And, but it's wonderful. It is just absolutely wonderful. And, it is one of my favorite things too. It really, truly is, for the very reason you said. It gives a chance for these kids that maybe have just nobody's noticed.
Right.
I know Mr. Staggs's last year tickled me to pieces. And, I won't tell the story, but it was somebody that, when she got picked she was like, who did it? Who did it? She couldn't believe it. And Mr. Staggs, what he had to say about the student was just so precious and so beautiful. You know what I mean? It was just fun.
Yes.
It was just fun, and it was super special. And we just love it. I love being there for the program because I love hearing the stories of why people picked who they picked, you know. And but it's going to be really hard, man, because I'm so close to some of these seniors and stuff, and so many freshmen that are coming in that are just brilliant, just amazing.
Right.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to pick, but anyway, can we have two? No, I know we can't. We got to pick one. We got to pick one. But the People's Choice Awards, that is definitely something that we absolutely love, and we'll have Trunk or Treat coming up, and see what else have we got coming up? The Donut Dash we have coming up.
Bobcat Bazaar, yes.
Bobcat Bazaar. We have all those things coming up. So all the fun fall stuff happening, and of course, fall break is just a couple of weeks away.
Yes.
Anything is, why don't we clarify, this is something about testing, and we've talked about this at school, but we have this test exempt policy that we have. It's been tweaked a little bit.
Yes, it has.
So why don't we cover that?
So we're going back to the old model of the exam exemption policy. And the reason we are is because with the way it was piloted last year, it really allowed up to 12 absences for the school year, which is not meeting employee expectations after they graduate. And so it is by semester now. So all students will take their midterms. The exception will be 9-week courses. They will take their final exam, but everyone will take their midterm exam. And we also want to do that because some students can actually graduate high school without having a teacher prepared midterm or final exam.
Wow. Seen that? Yeah.
And that is not preparing them for college either. Because if you have, students do not need to be a freshman in college taking a midterm or final for the first time without that experience. So everyone is taking that. It's very important because it's cumulative. And then if they have an A, they can have up to 3 excused absences. They can be exempt from their final exam in December or in May. And then if they have a B, they can have 2 excused absences and be exempt. And of course, we're trying to make sure our A's and B's represent what the students know and do and not just compliance.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And that's something we've talked about because we looked at maybe an EOC score that would come in B or C, but then the grade book would say all A's. And it's like they've got to match.
Yes.
And that's what we're working on trying to do. And it's so, man, once you get in this and you start understanding this and all of it, it's a lot, guys, but it's wonderful. And I invite you to join the education system because we need you. But how are we doing as far as staffing right now? Because that's a question I always like to ask each school. Because I look around, I don't really see any holes, but are we looking for anybody right now?
We started the year fully staffed and so excited, but we are currently looking for a special education inclusion teacher. Have a Zoom meeting with a candidate this week. And we're also looking for, in case you have not heard, Coach Jana Harris has stepped down to seek other opportunities. So we do need a lifetime wellness and softball coach. Right. So that has just been posted. So has to be posted 10 business days, but we are scheduling those interviews at this time.
Well, see, and somebody told me, I had not heard that and was really surprised to see that. I just love her. She's wonderful, just phenomenal. We're going to miss you.
Yes.
But that's a call that's out. And I can't say enough though, guys. If you've thought about teaching, we need you. And it is a wonderful career. These kids, they will just fill you up to overflowing. They will fill you up to overflowing because she was our coach of the year for FCA last year.
Yes,
So she's phenomenal.
And
phenomenal
a mentor
woman.
to other young coaches. Just such a big heart and valuable as FCA. Just a great role model. She also coordinated and established the Bobcat Bazaar and Winter Wishes. So big shoes to fill. However, when there is a door that is opened, it is not my responsibility to stand in the way. And so,
Yeah.
although we're going to miss her, I'm very excited for her as well.
Yeah. And, I didn't know she did Winter Wishes. I didn't know that she was behind that.
She made all those shirts and sweatshirts.
You're kidding. Oh my goodness, what fun. I had no idea. See, I learn things all the time. And that was, I actually had somebody at the fair pull me aside and say, have you heard about Miss Harris? She's leaving. What's going to happen to the Bobcat Bazaar? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So Bobcat Bazaar is still continuing and all that. Have we got somebody that's going to fill those shoes?
It will still continue because she did such a great job establishing
organized,
it.
yeah.
Just a wonderful tradition. And it's also community involvement. It's like a family reunion, getting to see everybody.
Right.
So we have to keep it going. It will not be the same, but we will continue the tradition that she has started.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I'll pull her aside and give her a big hug because I did not know all this. So I'm just, I hate it. But it's wonderful, though, that's really about all. I mean, we're doing well as far as staffing. And so everything's good. We're super excited about everything. I mean, it's just we're coming up on golf. I think they're in districts right now. And we'll be finishing up with our fall sports before you know it.
Yes.
We got homecoming coming up. Homecoming is coming up right before fall break.
October 7th, yes.
So, the
It's
week.
October
we're-
6th.
6th, because we're out on the 7th because of the primary.
Correct.
We've been talking about that. And then the general will be on December 2nd. And Dr. Weeks went through that. Those are we're basically using a couple of snow days. They're banked days. And so they're not originally on the calendar, but I've been trying to remind everybody of them. So anything else that we're missing, Dr. Osborne?
Not at the moment,
Okay.
but we are super excited and want to continue the momentum that has been started, and just so thankful for our teachers too. Just in our conversation, I hope you know that teachers do put in so much extra work to support the kids, and that while still balancing their families.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
We're very, very thankful for them. And as Teacher Education Weeks come up, just remember the teachers, how hard they do work.
That's the thing. I like I said, I think I got home 9:30 last night after the talent show and doing all the things, full of energy though, because these kids, you can't help but just drink off of their enthusiasm and their excitement.
Right.
And it's just I can't fully describe it. You have to experience it. Be a substitute teacher, do something like that, so you can kind of get in and feel the environment and see what we're talking about. But I tell everybody, you could consider retiring into teaching.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
absolutely could. Mr. V's done it, myself and my husband, and I'm sure there's others across the district that are going,
There
yeah,
are.
it's not a bad idea. Let's do that.
Yes.
The kids love it. It's so funny because they'll say things about, you're older than my Mimi. And I'm like, yes, I am. But anyway, it's just funny. But it's just a different experience that we bring to the table. So, and anything, I know, see Dr. Carneal is out there. Is it Dr. or Mr. Carneal?
It is Dr. Carneal.
I think it's Dr. Carneal. So he's on his way. Thank you for coming in here. And I'm so sorry that I was confused about who was coming in this morning.
It is okay.
The
It is
talent
okay.
show has had me in a spin, but we're getting it done, and it's
Absolutely.
been fun. So I'll look forward for you to hear these kids rock out this morning.
I cannot
It'll be
wait.
fun. It's going to be great. Thank you, Dr. Osborne.
Thank you.
My boss, Greenbrier High School. Thank you for letting me do what I do.
We love having you.
Well, it's just such a great pleasure. Love it. I will see you at school shortly.
That sounds
All
great.
right. All right. Thanks so much. Dr. Osborne's going to make her way out. And as she is doing that, I'm going to let Dr. Carneal come on and make his way in. And I'm going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. You know what's going on there. If you have any concerns in the real estate community, Barry and Rebecca have been at this a long time. Rebecca's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, by the way. She knows exactly what you need if it comes to maybe you're wanting to downsize, do something a little different. She can help you do that. I know she put up a listing one time about how that sometimes people who've had a bunch of rental properties and then they get older and they don't know what to do. And she's like, I can help you. Sometimes you just need to move on and sell things and pass it on. They can sit down and just have a cup of coffee with you and talk about your situation, what your goals are. they're just such community-oriented people and just good friends. And with Barry and Rebecca, with their diverse background, because she's one of those, she was in radiology, then they raised their kids, and when she was getting back out in the workforce, she had been doing a little bit of real estate, and she thought, man, I think I want to do this full time. And so she looked for a company that had everything she needed to be successful, and that was Exit. So she was with the Garden Gate team. And then Barry, he's a marketer for 17 years up in Nashville, marketing vice president for a media marketing company. And he's, of course, helping Rebecca along the way. And he gets bit by the real estate bug. And then he finally goes full time with real estate. And they bring you a new branch in the Exit tree, Exit Prime Realty. Still the great Exit team. So if you want to be mentored into doing real estate, you can talk to them about that as well. So whether you're buying or selling, just thinking about maybe working in real estate community, he is a broker now. He has his office here in Springfield. Her agency office is up in White House. They would love to meet you and just sit and talk to you. If you've got property, you're not really, you're thinking, maybe I want to sell it, you can get a free market analysis from them. Anything and everything to do with real estate, they got you covered. Barry and Rebecca Richards, they're with Exit Prime Realty. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com. Or by BUYRobertsonCounty.com, or give them a call. 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Let them know you turned sent you. Dr. Carnell, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. Have we ever met?
I know I've met your husband and worked with him plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have actually ever met in person, so it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. And I feel like I know you. You know, because my husband just really admires you, and he's always spoken very highly of you. And we were scattering this morning because all of us are just being pulled in so many different directions. And I'm messaging Jim. I'm like, I've got principals on the calendar, but who's coming? Are they coming? So so he was messaging me back and forth, and it's like my boss, Dr. Osborne, and Dr. Carnell, and I'm like, how in the world could I, let that slip my mind? Because I was looking forward to this day because I wanted to talk to you. I know you've gone over to White House Heritage.
Yes.
You're going to have to get up on that microphone a little bit more.
All right,
Come on in there.
Let me get close. Didn't know how much.
No.
I'm used to my voice being loud and trying to back off of a microphone. So.
Well, we just, you're doing just fine.
All right.
But, you went over to White House Heritage. You were assistant principal at Springfield.
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you assistant principal there?
So I spent 2 different stints as assistant principal at Springfield. I was a classroom teacher there actually before that for 6 years and coach. And then I was there for 2 years my first time and then 2 years the second time. So combined, I spent, I think, total about 9.5, 10 years on the faculty at Springfield High School.
What did you teach?
I taught U.S. history and government.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me because what else do you do? Tell them.
The other thing that is the reason why I had 2 different stints at Springfield High School is that I'm a colonel in the Army Reserve. Currently,
thank you for serving.
Oh, thank you. Currently a brigade commander with a unit out of Portland, Oregon. I have 7 locations in 6 states in the western United States of units, and so that keeps me busy. And I was mobilized 2 separate times as an employee of Robertson County Schools that took me away. But it was a blessing to get back to Springfield. I always enjoyed my time there and a lot of great things, but I can't tell you how excited I have been to be welcomed at White House Heritage, to get the opportunity to serve there and dig in there. It was an opportunity. I think I know I wasn't tracking. I had worked with Dr. Haas as peers for a long time. I was not expecting her departure, and then when she moved on to another career opportunity, to get this opportunity to work at White House Heritage, it has been phenomenal, better than anything I could have imagined. The faculty there has been absolutely welcoming, and the students as well. I had interacted with some students in my role in my previous position as the kind of CTE principal. I interacted with students from all across the county, so some I knew, but the students have been welcoming. Just the atmosphere, the culture. It's been a really positive experience, and again, I'm very grateful to have had this opportunity to become the principal at White House Heritage.
And to clarify, he's talking about the CTE principal at Springfield because that is our trade school hub. So you would have what y'all call outliers that come in from different schools. And so you would have had some White House Heritage kids that would have been pulling in for some of the CTE classes that are offered at Springfield that aren't necessarily offered, like welding or something that would be offered, not throughout the district. And so that's why you would get exposure to some of the kids from all over the county. That's what he's talking about. So that's the difference, because we have our own, we all have our own freestanding CTE classes in each school, in each high school. But there's some that are only available at Springfield. And so we have the trade school, is what the kids call it.
Oh,
and,
it's trade school is trade school buses, and that goes back to a term, that the vocational center or career. I think Mr. Gregory wants us calling it the career education center, I believe now, and that is it's the right term, but you also go back to in our community in Robertson County. We tend to gravitate toward the old terms, and it's been trade school since 1974 when that building was built, and it's neat to hear the kids still use that same term. But that was a good opportunity, and again, it gave me exposure to White House Heritage students, and then as I've moved over again, it's been really great to plug in and to we got a great year that's starting off, and walked into some just really high accomplishments. Last year, Katie Simmons, a graduate, came in second in the FBLA national competition in business communications. Walked into today, I got notice, haven't been able to talk to the student or the family yet, but one of our students earned a commendable status in the national merit scholarship, so what you get from taking the PSAT. So it fell right outside the finalist portion, but still a really remarkable achievement. Our sports teams are starting off well. We've had some big wins already against White House, some of our natural rival. They're with 31W splitting. Splitting it. And I mean, you want to come to an exciting event beyond football's king in the South. I was assistant football coach for a long time. Come see a White House Heritage volleyball game. Our students are there. Our students are getting rowdy, and it's a exciting place, and look forward to seeing what those ladies are going to be able to accomplish as we enter the postseason soon.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm trying to think, because I put together the news, we put together the news, and I'm trying to think where you guys are on our schedule. Did we play y'all, or are we playing y'all coming up Greenbrier? And I say Greenbrier because, we've got White House today. We're playing White House, not White House Heritage. So I knew we had White House on the schedule somewhere, but because, yes, you're right, those volleyball girls, oh my goodness. They take this stuff seriously, and it is an exciting thing to watch, the volleyball. I don't think people realize what you're missing if you're missing volleyball. Oh, it's exciting.
And I want to, our band, first competition out the gate a week ago. If you've ever been to a band competition, they get judged in multiple different categories. Let me pull up the note I got because I'm going to mess it up. But in their first competition, first place in color guard, first place in percussion and music and visual and band, and third place overall in the small division of that. That's the first competition out the gate too.
Yeah.
When you start a season in any type of competitive environment, you expect some hiccups at the start.
Sure.
And to see their performance right out the gate, it's just everywhere I turn, White House Heritage, I'm seeing a group, whether it's the faculty, whether it's the kids, whatever it is, a group that is just getting after it. And it's refreshing. And again, I'm grateful to get the opportunity to be a part of it.
So this is a question. I usually ask the question, okay, what are you most proud of? I'm not sure you haven't already answered that. Yeah. So what, as far as one of the questions I do like to ask, how are you as far as staffed? Are you fully staffed right now? Are you looking for, because I mean, that's always a thing. Right. It's like, if you got some jobs you're trying to fill, anything particular?
So we are briefly fully staffed.
Okay. I got you.
For the moment.
Yeah.
So have some retirements coming up for some outstanding educators that have made the decision, have gotten opportunities to pursue a next career. So I'm happy for them. I told them to talk to me about it. That hey, we're gonna miss you, but happy for you. But so we're gonna have the postings are out there, but we're fully staffed for the moment, and we're gonna move into a cycle of having to replace some people.
Gotcha.
That's where and it's always that revolving door.
Well, is the do you have mid-year retirements or end-of-year
Yeah,
retirements?
so I have a mid-year retirement.
You do have a mid-year? Okay.
And another opening that's coming up due to another opportunity came up for somebody.
Sure. Yeah.
That's where we go, and we will continue to roll on as White House Heritage Patriots. But if you're interested, go on the Robertson County website and look at our openings, and we would love to have you a part of the team.
And that's what I tell everybody, because I have a lot of people ask me about this, because my husband and I both, and another friend of ours, Mr. Valines up at Greenbrier, we retired into teaching. We came out of professional careers and wanted to teach, and it has been just the best decision we've ever made. I mean, it truly, because I see some of my teacher friends that have been doing this for 30 years, and they're exhausted. And I was talking to a student last night, because we had a talent show, and so I was there very late. And I don't know what got the conversation started, and maybe they were being a little bit hard on a teacher. Maybe this student was. And I said, they've been at this many years, and I said, y'all wear us out. I said, because we love y'all and we care about y'all and we get involved in your lives, and that's exhausting. And after so many years, I'm still new. I'm like the kid out of college just getting to teach for the first time. But I can see how, 20 years down the line, you just kind of need a break. And do you ever see teachers retire and then come back after they kind of catch their breath, maybe?
I have seen that in his previous postings. And you're absolutely right. My wife is an educator. My parents were educators.
Yeah.
My father did the second he hit 30 years, loved it, wouldn't trade his career for anything. The second he hit 30 years, he moved on to another career. My spouse talks about 20 years in the classroom, and she's up and at it the whole time. Like, it's a point or approaching that point where, hey, is there something else to explore out there, or a way to change it up, whether that's teaching a different subject or different.
Sure.
I'll relay this. I came into education in 2010. At that point, I'd spent 7 years on active duty, and I'd spent 3 years working in the private sector. And outside of deployments, overseas deployments, or some really intense training environments, teaching is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
And I'm just saying in the sense of everything it takes to get into it. It is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's for people that want to pour into kids.
Yep.
And that's why we all do it.
Yep.
And it's a chance to it's a profound way to give to the community, to leave a lasting impression on people that are going to be the future leaders of our communities and our nation. That's the way I look at it. It is. I got the opportunity this past weekend to go to my college reunion, and they're talking. These are all people that served in the military, and there's quite a few of us now that have gone into education, and we were all kind of talking about that sense of never realized the challenge of teaching till we got into it, but what a reward too.
Oh yeah.
And you see it, and you don't know but it is that that random message you get, thank you, coach, and it just means a lot.
Well, I had several of the kids last night just, say things to me, giving them a chance to just kind of show off their talents and stuff, just meant the world. And you're making, a difference and stuff. And Muriel Barnett, she was at White House Heritage right before you got there. So maybe y'all's paths haven't crossed, but she did 31 years as a math teacher and retired just a couple of years ago. And she gets notes all the time, because she'll tell me stories about how that, there'll be somebody that there was a kid that they just couldn't get this part of the lesson down. They were struggling, and she would work with them during their accelerated education time. Y'all call it PAT time, we call it CAT time, where you give them extra, tutoring and those kinds of things. And she would get them through it. And she, years later, she'll hear from somebody that's like, that was a game changer for me. That was the thing that helped me do better on my ACT, that got me, better in a better position for some scholarship money, or just different things like that. They knew she cared, and that's the big thing. And just you get those notes from the kids. Like I said, you almost got a little teary eyed there for a second when you were talking about it. But that's what it means to you. Yeah, that's what it means to you when you get to. I've raised 4 boys. And I miss my boys like crazy, and I'm so proud of them because they're all flying high and doing great. But I'm telling you, if you're like me and you're older and maybe missing you got an empty nest or something, boy, I tell you, you'll fill it up real quickly with all these kids that you just fall in love with at this school. You absolutely will. What are we missing? Anything that you just want to make sure we don't forget to bring to the table about White House Heritage today?
I mean, I think another thing that I want to highlight is, as we go into this year, we have a ton of community support. I haven't highlighted that yet, where, if our community rallies around us, and I wasn't quite sure how that would be, in the sense of, I grew up around White House, or understanding White House, and with that split, when those schools split, you're splitting a small town between 2 high schools. Yeah. And White House Blue Devils have had a long history in that community, so I really didn't quite know, like, what's the community support going to be like here, where we're dividing attention essentially, and it's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It is. They rally around White House Heritage. I come to a football game on Friday night. You're going to see stands packed, people standing around, community leaders there. It's just a really great environment. And the other thing I want to highlight is, I've come into a great spot, and the school is doing well. But hey, we want to do better. Mm-hmm. And we've as a staff, we've challenged one another, and I'm watching this staff dig into areas that we need to improve upon. And it's not there's not that sense of backbiting, or it's somebody else's fault, not mine. My scores were good, it's the other person that needs to pick it up. No, it is everybody digging in, seeing where we can. And at the end of the day, it's not about the score. It's about the student that score represents. Mm-hmm. and just digging in and going, how can we get better? And that's the challenge. That's what our community expects of us. That's what our district expects of us. And coming in, I didn't know how kind of they would respond to the new guy and the new challenge, and it's just been great.
I love it. And I feel like, do you think that just your military background, people had, I think that's a community that would look at that and go, oh, hey, look at this. I mean, you've got an impressive resume. You really do. So, I mean, that's got to have helped a little bit, too, for them to know your background coming into a community that just, I think they would be very welcoming. I wouldn't think you'd get anything but a welcome response because, I mean, I'm a big supporter of the military, and I appreciate your service so much. And I think that's why I'm just so curious about, and the way that your career has had to navigate between the two things and that. And so, so we do. I have a lot of admiration for the things that you've done. I'm sure excited that I got to finally meet you.
You as well.
And I hated that they lost you at Springfield, though. My husband was like, but I know that they've got great staff. I mean, they've got great folks filling your shoes, but you've got some big shoes to fill, though.
You know, the small world stuff is that when I became a principal in 2016, I replaced Jeff Haynes. And as and then came back to that as he moved on to Joe Burns. And then, you know, this time as I've moved on to White House Heritage, Jeff replaced me. So the person that taught me what I needed to do is back in that seat and crushing it. And you know, I to Dr. Weeks and the Robertson County schools, the district office, and their support of me. You know, the first you mentioned the military stuff, and it definitely I think the two careers have mutually support one another in the sense of it's such much more transferable skills than I think people would maybe recognize on the outside, but it does take a sacrifice on both ends. And you know, I was concerned in going into this role, but just full support from the district that recognize that, hey, there are times that I'm going to miss some days here and there, but fully supportive and recognize what again, I think those experiences bring some also bring some good skill sets that I can use to help kids. And as we look at the other part I was going to say is, you know, the first 7 years that I was working in the district, I was virtually never gone. Yeah. And then we've hit a period where I got mobilized 2 different times.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful for the district to continue to support me in that role, and also to enable me to continue to serve the students of Robertson County when I'm back. It's been an interesting balance, a little bit busier than I expected it to be over the last few years. But to be able to come back, and the story that I like to share, or I've shared sometimes, is, you know, it's amazing how kind of military service and its work in education kind of transcends. So I mentioned that I just got back from my 25th college reunion. Well, that was at West Point. So we have 2 White House Heritage graduates that are current cadets at West Point. So
that's great.
I got to link up, you know, on the parade field after I watched them in a parade on Saturday morning. And it's, you know, cadets Erica Bucket, who graduated from Heritage in 2024 and is USMA class of 2028, and Cadet Dominic Malich, who graduated in Heritage in 2025, so just graduated and is currently a plebe at West Point and a member of the class of 2029. And just a chance to just make that connection between, because I put kind of White House Heritage Patriots and West Point, and be another resource for them. And I told them as I was leaving, as we were going on to different activities for the day, that, hey, you know, reach out. It is a shared experience going through that, and to have somebody to reach out to from home is a good resource, and also somebody who at this point spent 25 years in the Army, to continue to use that shared connections to mentor and support one another is important. I'm grateful for that opportunity as well.
Okay, here's the big question: did you get a picture with these 2 cadets?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I mean that's a story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you do you know about the news publications, staypositive.news? It's like, well, they're up in that they come on the show once a week, once a month, and it's about just good news, and that's a good news story. Is that the White House Heritage principal's there at the West Point reunion and gets to meet 2 cadets that were, I mean, that's a story right there. So I'm going to call them and say, hey, you need to check this out. I'm not a writer for them, but I will sure call Sarah and say, I got one for you. It's fun to have pictures. I figured you had some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, the cool thing about that is just the connection between schools. So you mentioned earlier, Cadet Bucket I knew she was an Air Force ROTC student. So that program was housed out of Springfield. So I knew Cadet Bucket from that, and then Cadet Malich. When he was interested in going to the academy, Mr. Owens, our assistant principal at White House Heritage, reached out to me and connected the two of us. I guess at this point, about 2 years ago, for me to kind of talk him through the process and talk him through the ins and outs. So again, it's just another great opportunity to reconnect. And again, another thing I'm proud about with White House Heritage is that we are preparing students for challenging post high school experiences that will set them up for success. Whether that's whatever that goal is after high school, our staff is working hard to get them properly positioned to pursue those goals, and it's something that we take that charge every day, and we'll continue to do everything we can to make sure our graduates are successful when they leave us.
Very good. Well, I know Springfield hated to lose you, but I'm sure glad. I know White House Heritage is glad to have you, and just very honored to get to meet you. Like I said, I've heard so many great stories about you from my husband working up at Springfield, but it's just a great experience, guys, being in the education system. Anything that we're missing before we wrap up our time together? Because I know we both have to get to work.
Oh, no, nothing I can think of. Come out and see us. Our homecoming is next week.
Okay.
Taking on Whites Creek. This is going to be our, if I remember right, I'm still learning the new regions and districts for all our sports.
Sure.
But we haven't started district play yet. Or region play in football. I've had a solid season, a couple of hiccups, but again, we're 3-2. We beat our county rivals so far in both Greenbrier and sorry about that,
Sorry.
and White House Blue Devils, and now we're getting real close to starting the region season in that sport as well, where we'll set us up for the playoffs. But coming out to homecoming next week, see us take on Whites Creek, and again, if you get a chance to catch really any of our activities, come on out and see us. We're the last thing I say is we've got, I can't remember the name of our first play that we're putting on, but we're putting on 3 different performances this year from our theater department.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for those as those. I think the first one is going to go in December.
Okay.
But we're excited about those as well.
Just get out and support this stuff. We had kids come out. A lot of people come out for the talent show at Greenbrier last night, and the kids are just so excited and enthusiastic when they get to perform and share their talents and their art as well. So nice to meet you.
You as well.
And we're going to wrap it up, and he and I are going to head to work. And before I go, though, I do want to just mention real quickly Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. Man, they thank you so much for coming out to the Pasture Plate dinner on Friday. And just a rousing success. Oh, so many wonderful things going out there. You can go by and see them today. But they want to get you mindset now on Fall on the Farm, which is coming up on Saturday, October 11th, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. They're going to have, it doesn't cost anything to go. You're going to have live music, bounce houses, the corn pit, the farm store, food trucks, vendors, free hay rides. If you've never hung out at Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market, you don't know what you're missing. It's so much fun. You can go by there and grab breakfast this morning. You can grab lunch today while they're open. They're open on Tuesdays through Friday or through Saturday. So they're open Tuesdays through Saturdays right now, and open up at 7 o'clock. I'm trying to pull up their time right now. They open up at 7 a.m. and they're there until 3 p.m. I think is the hours. Let me pull it up real quick. No, 7 to 4. 7 to 4 Tuesday through Saturday. Come by and get some fresh whatever they're working on. You know, they raise and then process their pork, their beef. Phenomenal stuff that you're going to find at Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. But get ready for Fall on the Farm, October 11th, and we'll talk more about them tomorrow after I check in with Julie. But thank you again, Dr. Carneal, for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow, it's all Veterans Service Office. We'll have them in to talk to you, and I hope you'll join us here on 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.